Hey YouTube, Joelboy here. There's something that I want to talk about, and this relates to Big Mom, but it seems pretty clear now that she wants to meet Monkey D. Luffy. And this can be seen in several situations, but I want to add a lot of context to what's going on here, and potentially make a strong argument for the fact that Big Mom actually likes Luffy. So first things first, the most obvious indication that Big Mom has an interest in Luffy dates all the way back to when we first met Big Mom during the Fishman Island arc, where Luffy stole or ate her sweets, and then basically was like, yeah, I did eat them, what are you going to do about it? Let's go fight. I want Fishman Island as my territory. And some of Big Mom's responses here are really interesting. Luffy says that I'm Luffy, I'm going to become the Pirate King, and her response to this isn't of anger, but sort of interest, like, Monkey D, I've heard of you before, you caused that ruckus 2 years ago, you're the grandson of Garp. I can also probably assume here that she knows that he's the son of Dragon the Revolutionary, and he is his name is growing, his legacy as a whole is growing, and she finds that interesting. She also found it interesting how defiant he was of her and her Yonko status, so much so that she basically said, fine then, if you want to protect Fishman Island, then come meet me in the New World. I also, as a side note here, want to emphasize the fact that Big Mom knew why Luffy was saying these things to her, that he was diverting her attention away from Fishman Island onto himself. She saw right through this lie and was basically like, don't lie to me, boy. I know you're trying to protect your friends. Which really highlights Big Mom's ability to, I guess, either obtain information or just understand a situation very quickly, or both of those things at the same time. This also ties well with her comments to Jinbei after she went into her rage. Jinbei saved her. She seemed very pleased to see Jinbei, and then Jinbei mentioned that he had something that he wanted important to talk about. And she was like, Jinbei, you aren't trying to leave my crew, are you? Which is a really interesting comment to make and suggests that she already knows that Jinbei has plans of leaving her crew. This is really interesting as well because the very next chapter we see there's a little dialogue box basically saying like 2 hours earlier or something like that, which suggests that before Jinbei went and saved Big Mom from her rage, was when he had his conversation with the other fishmen, where he basically revealed to them that he planned on leaving the Sun Pirates and joining underneath Luffy. And then later on we see that he saves Big Mom, and Big Mom's like, are you planning on leaving my crew? Which suggests to me that Big Mom heard this conversation, or maybe another conversation other than that, but it's possible here that that was the moment in which Big Mom sort of realized, hey, Jinbei's going to leave my crew to join Straw Hat Luffy. And then after this, there seems to be some contradictory information, but Jinbei asks us questions on several occasions, including during the Fishman Island arc and then later, but he doesn't really know what his leaving Big Mom's crew is going to do to her. Is it going to cause her to fly into a rage or whatever? And then one of Big Mom's daughter, Charlotte Praline, basically says that anybody who'd ever tried to leave her crew hadn't survived. But then Jinbei actually goes and confronts Big Mom. He's honest to her and says that he wants to leave her crew. And she seems okay with the idea. She said that pirates should try and live freely. Which is contradictory to sort of this impression that we're getting that by Jinbei leaving her crew, he's going to die. But then later we learn that there is a price to be paid for leaving her crew, which by spinning the roulette, Jinbei is going to lose something. But this is not guaranteed to be his life, which is interesting. He could just come away losing an arm or a leg and still live to, one, leave Big Mom's crew and then join Luffy's crew. We also know that Big Mom knows that Luffy is on her island. This is stated pretty much explicitly. She also seems excited at the prospects of Luffy being there. Like, this is something that she was looking forward to. We can also see that despite the Straw Hats sort of planning to avoid Big Mom, there would really be no way to avoid her since she already knows that he's there. And that they have now reached Whole Cake Island, her main island, and this has to be something that she wanted. She wanted Luffy to go through Totland, get to Whole Cake Island, either without causing any destruction or anything like that, or specifically because she wanted him to reach her so that she could meet him, or something along those lines. There's no way that Luffy would have gotten there unless Big Mom had wanted it. And so there's a lot of speculation out there that maybe Big Mom wants Luffy to come meet her because she plans on using him as sort of an ingredient in her Pudding's wedding cake. But this is again contradicted by new information that we have, which is that Big Mom is no longer painted as a cannibal. She is a consumer of sweets. She loves sweet things. And so we learned recently for a fact that what was originally portrayed as her being a cannibal was actually her eating sweets that were alive. So at this point in time, it seems pretty ridiculous for her to actually use someone's blood in a cake recipe, because logically speaking, that would probably make the cake taste less good. So here's basically what I suspect. Big Mom knows that Luffy is there and has allowed him to reach Whole Cake Island to specifically meet him. She also knows that Jinbei plans on leaving her crew so that he can join the Straw Hat Pirates, and she's allowing him to do this. Even though she's going to take something from him, at this point it doesn't seem guaranteed that it's going to be his life. So this also sort of makes us suspect here that their Big Mom sees the potential that Jinbei and the Straw Hats could leave her islands alive. Otherwise, it seems spinning this roulette would be a complete waste of time, because she already plans on killing Straw Hat Luffy, his crew, and everyone that is helping him get to her already. And this would include Jinbei, so there would be no need to spin the roulette. As soon as Jinbei announces, or she found out that Jinbei plans on leaving her to join the Straw Hats, he instantly signed his death wish. There could be other explanations for this, like for instance, Big Mom is just a sadistic, cruel person who enjoys sort of torturing people for the sake of it. But I'm not 100% sold on that idea yet. Another thing that I want to point out here is that Big Mom's reaction to Luffy defying her back in the Fishman Island arc is not really similar to how she reacts out of anger that we have recently seen. When Luffy was defying her in Fishman Island, she sort of had a smile on her face. She said things in a way that make us sort of think here that she doesn't actually hate him for what he's done. She's more interested by him. And then later on, when we see that people do actual things that really irritate her, that really upset her, her facial features resemble more of just straight anger. And so with this all being said, I think it's very clear Big Mom wants to meet Luffy, like a one-on-one sort of confrontation. She didn't want him going through Totland, destroying everything to get to her. And she didn't want any of her forces to sort of take him out before she reached him. So she clearly wants to meet face-to-face Straw Hat Luffy, and I think this is literally just because she finds him to be a very interesting person. The child of two really famous people in Garp and Dragon, the person who caused all the ruckus and seems to be the leader of this new era. She wants to meet him and learn more about him. Potentially not to kill him, but because she likes him. There's been a lot of speculation recently, especially with my last post where I sort of compared and contrasted Boa Hancock and the Amazon Lily arc and Big Mom and the Whole Cake Island arc, that maybe there will be some sort of gag within this Whole Cake Island arc, especially given the context that Big Mom might be a future ally, that Big Mom actually wants to marry Luffy. She has 43 husbands, clearly. She doesn't, she's polygamous, so with this being said as well, with this desire and interest in Luffy, it really seems like a legit possibility that Big Mom's interest in Luffy is she wants to collect Luffy and add her to her forces or whatever, and maybe even marry him. Keep in mind that we've seen sort of how the daughters of Big Mom are so far. There's a huge marriage theme with all of Big Mom's daughters so far. Pudding, who's sort of looking for her dream guy. Lola is looking for a husband as well and asks people to marry her on 5,000 different occasions. Charlotte Praline clearly cares a lot for her husband, even more than her own mother. And they all got this trait from someone, and it's probably Big Mom. I definitely, though, think it'll be interesting to find out what happens when Luffy rejects her, which is a guarantee. So it might be a situation right now where Big Mom sees the situation as I'm going to marry Straw Hat Luffy. So even if Jinbei leaves my crew, I'm not going to kill him like I would do for other people who try to leave my crew, because I know that he's just going to join under my crew again when I collect Straw Hat Luffy and marry him, or whatever she might think is going on here. And then Luffy is definitely not going to marry her, so this could cause a little bit of a conflict as well. But let me know what you guys think. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you're new to my content and you want to be notified for my future videos. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.